Allora, the only question I have actually to start with is when it was the first time you ever thought about Pernod Ricard products, and then when you started to purchase Pernod Ricard products.
Well, my first admiration towards Pernod Ricard, especially I'm a champagne person.
Okay.
So I must have been somewhere around 20s, 23, 24, somewhere around there, or early 20s. I'm a spoiled, I shouldn't say spoiled. I was well informed with environment of champagne. I spent my time in Switzerland from the age of 14 in a boarding school, European background. My parents lived in Tokyo and Paris at that time, and New York. So being the my family is an architectural family, and my father was fortunate to be able to work in various countries. So far, we ourselves, inclusive of my father's time, we worked in 33 different countries, and over 500 projects, and then we go to all the continents. And having that background, I was fortunate to be exposed to many different cultures, different countries, and so on. So I was introduced to, compared to many Japanese people, I was exposed to nice cuisine of all sorts, and also the good wine and champagne to go with the meal. And from that perspective, of course, there are a few champagne that is very popular in Japan and in Asia and so on. But I was educated in Switzerland, and then afterwards I went to America for the university and graduate school to learn to study architecture. So make the long story even longer, I fell in love with Belle Epoque bottle.
Okay.
No matter what it is most beautiful bottle that I thought when I came across that bottle in early 20s. That's why I said I'm a little bit spoiled, because not many people would know Belle Epoque bottle so early. But that was my first encounter with Pernod Ricard.
Okay.
Yes.
So it means that you're very knowledgeable about the world of champagne.
I wouldn't say I'm knowledgeable, but I enjoy champagne. I'm not so deep in knowledge of wine. Wine is totally different category. So for that, I went towards more champagne than wine. And I came, as an architect, as a visual profession, Belle Epoque bottle caught my eyes, and then of course it's the story of that bottle sounded very exciting as well.
Very interesting. So, so you said that you're mainly drinking champagne more than wines and other spirits. And then, what do you appreciate about champagne? So you mentioned the bottles, especially because I like the link with your professional, actually, because you admire beautiful things. So,
Yes.
and then, but next to the packaging, what do you appreciate about champagne when you drink champagne?
I mean, also, it is champagne is uh, many occasions used to celebrate happy occasion for various people and various occasion. And then I think um, that uh, feeling of happiness and that champagne represent is something that it's very, very special.
Even more than wines.
Well, no, wine is fine as well, but a lot of times champagne is in my limited experience, it goes with a celebration of happy occasion.
Okay.
And for example, in Formula One, it's always champagne shower, right? I mean, it's not I mean, of course, because of the bubble and so on, but I think it's a
It's not a
uh,
beer. It's a beer shower. It's a champagne shower.
yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
I see. Okay. And but in terms of from a product point of view, what do you appreciate? So I like also the
What
emotion,
point of view?
the product point of view, because actually now you
Product point of
mentioned,
view. Yes.
so you mentioned the packaging and then you mentioned the emotions that come with.
Yes.
So, but in terms of product, so from the product perspective, is there something that make you appreciating a champagne instead of another one? If you
Another one
compare
meaning
another champagne, another
another
bottle of
something.
champagne, another product, another brand, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think uh, all this champagne or wine is very personal. The personal palate and so on. I like the fineness of the bubble of Belle Epoque more than others because I mean that gives a. I mean I don't know how to describe it, but and then of course it's harder and harder to come by nowadays. But the bigger the bottle, better uh, uh, it tastes better. And also I love Blanc de Blanc. Um, and but bigger the bottle, the Blanc de Blanc and everything, rarity and so on, the price goes up. So I don't come across so often, but still, it's the fineness of the bubbles is very important to me. So for me, the taste is quite special. There are much more popular uh, champagne
Mm-hmm.
as well, but I mean, compared to that, uh, the whole experience, uh, the visual, celebrative feelings to the finer contents, um, a whole, all of that, intrigue me more than other champagne.
But do you drink other champagne, other brands or not?
I do,
Mm-hmm.
I do. I mean, of course. Uh, okay, well, and then this is a conversation. Of course, in Japan, um, most popular champagne is is Dom Perignon,
Mm-hmm.
and they think uh, that's the finest. It's very popular. Many people know. If you say Dom, name Dom Perignon, they will know. If you say Cristal, not many people know. Maybe I mean nowadays, yes, but um, all other brand, Titange or so on. I mean, less and less. But Dom Perignon is one of the most Moët Chandon Dom Perignon that as a product is well known. But everybody has it's I mean, I do have other I mean, a list of champagne that I like, but in Japan, champagne and fancy champagne is Dom Perignon. But I'm very much against that kind of thinking because everybody drinks and then that's the ultimate. For me, Belle Epoque is a best champagne. Of course, there are others I like also, but constancy of the brand also gives me a security, and then I always want to be different. And of course, if you present the bottle, all the ladies also always give a big smile.
Oh, of course. I love the Perrier Chouette
Yes.
as marvelous.
Yes.
I see the point. Why you think that Dom Perignon is very famous, is very known in Japan? Based on what? So there are some reasons, marketing, or I don't know, no idea.
Well, I mean, it was well, I'm not a professional in that field, but somewhere along the line that they said that it's a brand image that mass decided that that's the ultimate. Why in Japan Hermes and Chanel is more popular than Lolo Piana. I don't know, Brunello Cucinelli. Yes, I mean they are fine product, and it's sometimes it's more as expensive, it's not more, whatever. But mass. I mean, I don't mean to be looking from higher and then looking down, but the majority of people are not as aware as Chanel and Hermes. Whether they have the product or not, that doesn't matter. But they just categorize like that. If connoisseur of the material, connoisseur of the product, I mean, of course, Lolo Piana, Brunello, Cucinelli, and all these are even finer. Or some of the shoemakers are finer, or some of the tailors are finer than all these brands. But I mean, it's a, I guess at a certain point they did it right for the branding, and then that becomes like the word for champagne.
But so you make me think that maybe Pernod Ricard as did not, or who is not doing the proper job in order to make its products famous enough as Dom Perignon. So maybe they can do something more in order to increase their visibility. No. I mean, I'm trying to understand, because Perrier Jouet is a niche brand compared to Dom Perignon. This is much more massive. But I'm wondering why.
That's right.
I'm wondering why this appreciation is not fully recognized as Dom Perignon. So this is why I'm trying to understand.
Right.
So,
yes. I mean, of course, the product. I mean, you have to tell me. Actually, I'm not the expert, as I said. I don't know how much, Belle Epoque is produced compared to Dom Perignon. I have a feeling that Dom Perignon is much more in quantity. But again, It's not. It's not. I think Moe Shandong Group came in much earlier in Japan and has done this branding for a long period of time, so they know the name more. I think that's what it is. I don't think it's a fault of a Pernod Ricard, especially I'm talking about the feel of champagne, because Pernod Ricard has a lot of other product, which I'm sure is more popular than others.
Hmm.
Um, and then in Japan, also like whiskey kind or brandy, that kind of product also has a very particular uh, way of branding themselves. I mean, you just give certain uh, level, and in Japan, a lot of times is bars are wanting to have certain price range, and if you are in that market, they would like to have certain high level brand image. I heard the story in part. I'm not a whiskey drinker, so Cutty Sark is one of the brand, is it?
What is, sorry, D?
Uh, Cutty Sark, one of the
Where
whiskey
they have
came into
several,
the
yeah.
yeah, and then they did the marketing in Japan to many of the bars and high-end bars, and they did very well. Their price range was right, and so on. And later, so the brand said, "Okay, if I reduce the price, I can even sell more."
Mm.
And that backfire on them because by reducing it, they made the brand cheaper. But all these bars wanted top, not top, but a certain level. So by uh, reducing the price, people didn't want that brand anymore.
They reduce the perception of the value.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Hmm.
So, I mean, this is what had happened. So, in Japan, it's a very particular field. For example, if I want to give you a gift, uh, if I know you well, I know what you like, etc. I know which brand you like or what kind of things you like, etc., etc. So it's a personal gift. I think that will be. I think it's the right things to do. But in Japan, a lot of times it's like how much I value you. So if one product is $100 and the other product is $80, but if $80 one, I think it's better for you because this the design or whatever, etc. I would rather give you $80 one that you would appreciate than $100 one that you don't care for. But in Japan, never fail. But you have to you it's better to give you $100 one. So that means I value you $100, not $80.
I see.
I mean, this is very bizarre way of looking at it. So unfortunately, I mean, somewhere along the line, Dom Perignon has done that well. So instead of Perrier bottle, if you give Dom Perignon, they say, "Oh, you think of me as a highest level," which is not true. The good vintage, Belle Epoque is much better than a Dom Perignon, but people don't think like that. So this is a very strange Japanese mentality. So uh, it is quite
In China, there
unique.
is something similar, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah, yes.
So
But
I recognize
it's a
this
maybe little bit Asian, maybe.
mm, this face, the meaning of the face, right? Something like
Yes,
this.
yes,
Okay, and then
yes.
but what is interesting, so you're also describing the gifting process that is very important, then the price, and then but the question is, where do you purchase your products, your Perrier Jouet bottles or Pernod Ricard bottles if you buy something else?
Well, I happen to know Perrin Ricard people, so I called them.
Okay, so you have a direct connection with them.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
and how it works.
But of course, of course, that's if I have a luxury of time, obviously. But otherwise, of course, I go to the wine shop and so on, and that's a usual way. Yes,
Mm-hmm. No, but I like the other way. So the way that when you call them, so how it works. So you call them, then you ask for, I don't know, specific cast or specific size or simple or just in quantity. How it works? Can you explain me this direct relationship you have with them? Because I think it's very interesting.
Well, actually, well, I get to know them through various occasions,
Mm-hmm.
and head of operation in Japan, and then one thing, and then like one gentleman here in Mr. Kuriki, who became good friends as well, and so on. So I think it's the knowing the face made me interested in the product as well. So and then of course it was like the reason I got to know them because it's since I was 20s, I always admire the product. As I said, that the visual part and so on, because I mean Belle Epoque is a one of the few, very few, and then I think in this field I think it's the only one who had such a interesting bottle designed by Gare, and then it's been put up. I mean, his history goes, it's been put away, and people forgot about it. And then one day, one of the owner family found this bottle, and then like decided to produce that bottle. I mean, that's a special feeling, right? And it's a famous artist has produced it, and then this and that. I think it's a hit, and then very romantic to me, the story, and not that the artist has produced, and then there's just was there, and they start producing. No, I mean it was just like it was a. I don't know exact story, but it was like a friendship, and then put away, and then much later it was discovered. um, it's a very interesting thing. So I always admire that story. And then I met by accident. I met few of the people from Pernod Ricard, and then I was very excited. And then ever since I well, can I call you directly for the special occasion? And then of course they said, of course. And so many of the and then that friendship grew, and so funny there are many funny occasions that because of that it happened. For example, one of the Shanghai Grand Prix time, um, in front of Perrier Jouet people, I always say, oh, I love Belle Epoque, but they I mean it was it was true, but what do they know? Maybe they thought that maybe I go in front of Dom Perignon people and say, "Well, I love Dom Perignon," right? Who knows, right? But once we were in Shanghai Grand Prix, and they said, um, we were in one of the group of my friends were having drinks in one of the bars, very crowded and very hip place at that time. And in China, I'm sure you have experience when you order champagne, expensive champagne, they put the like fires, sparks, and then they come through the place, right? And it just happened that the gentleman I knew from Pernod Ricard was in that club because, of course, it's during the Formula One, and they provide champagne for the Formula One. Then he sees Belle Epoque traveling through the crowd, carried by the big tray with the fireworks. So he was curious and followed. And then he came to my table. And then he saw me. And so I said, "Hi, how are you?" And then he looked at me and said, "So you really meant it when you told me that you like Belle Epoque?" So I said, "You see?" I don't, joke around about this.
So you're a
So I
big
mean,
fan, a real
yes,
fan.
yes. I mean, so this I mean, even that kind of few occasion like this made me come even closer because I think at the end of the day is a human relationship. I mean, I love many things, and then but I always like that thing, not only the product but the friendship or that story is very important to me. And so that's the way I approach any product. It's not the product for product's sake, but the my experience with that product, and then that experience make me go to much more friendship.
I like the idea of
So
friendship because actually it goes much beyond a typical commercial relationship.
right.
Can you elaborate a bit more on that, on this idea of friendship?
Now, for example, in Japan, we have the gift giving idea. When you go and visit somebody, you bring a cookie or something, or sometimes bottle of wine, a bottle of champagne, and a dinner occasion, and so on. I never fail, but I bring Belle Epoque to the people who understand, uh, and I bring cookie made by my friend. Um, I mean, the price is the same, right? And price range is the same. But if I want to give to somebody, I say, well, this is the product that my friend makes, and then I would like you to taste it, or something like this. I mean, it's easy for me to just say, bring some famous names, and then just give it to them, and that's fine. And then that's why I said about Hermes versus others, whatever. That's the mentality in Asia. But for me, what's important is, oh, I think this tastes really nice, or I think this feels good, and this sweater's material is very good. That's why I want you to try, or something like this. So that makes it more personal. I mean, I think it's that's the way I will always look at it. I mean, even uh, some other products. Uh, I mean, I love watches, and so I have. I mean, I don't have that many, but each one of the watches has certain uh, story. Like one of my friends who lives in Monaco is Frank Mueller. I talked to him a few days ago, but and he was in Saint Tropez now, but he escaped. He said he escaped from the Formula One, so But because he's my friend, that whether people like it or don't like it, I appreciate his
F-
watch.
His philosophy,
And
actually, his philosophy for time.
yes, yes, he always talk about. Um, I mean, he's a really a philosopher. Uh, like when he made a certain movement, like uh, jumping second, he said these. If you see the second hand goes around to 60 and then another 60, another 60, it seems like it's coming back. But what he's jumping second, it means that that 1 minute disappears, never come back. I mean, that's a good thinking.
Mm.
That's why I always feel like if I uh, meet somebody and then I like that person, I try to see that person again. And if I say it, I try to make it happen. I mean, sometimes it doesn't happen, but it's sharing that moment is very important. So I mean, even in a champagne and so on, I think it's who you're going to drink with, in what occasions, and so on, and and then that gives a part of my memory. And then maybe that's the reason that I like champagne. Now that I talked to you, I mean, you made me think even deeper about why I like champagne. Because champagne we always drink in a special occasion, happy occasion, and then you always want to spend time with people, and those people become somebody special in my life, and you you remember that moment. I think uh, my wife. I met her. Been married for more than 35 years now. So 37 years ago, I met her, and one of the dinner I opened Belle Epoque because it was a special occasion, and I remember exactly. And then she was very surprised. For her, it was the first time to have Belle Epoque and so on. So, but that kind of things stays with you, and in various occasions, like even the champagne story that I bump into Pernod Ricard people in Shanghai in a very uh, crowded hip bar, and but that must have been like I don't know 15 years ago, but it's still that moment is very special, and so on. So I think it's the reason that I like champagne is it gives it is an important memory uh, every time
You
we
open the
have
bottle.
when you open the bottle. That's right. Yes.
Okay. And how the Pernod Ricard people keep their relationship alive with you? Are they constantly in contact with you? Are they in contact with you from time to time? How it happens?
Yes. Yes, the various occasions they will contact me, and they introduce me to different occasions and so on. And I have friends who are fan of Pernod Ricard Group, and that's why one thing led to another. And as I said, I'm sure it started off as a customer and a service provider kind of situation, but now became friendship. And a lot of times I give them a hard time because I would like to help my friend uh, develop father to go into a market in some ways. I mean, very small way that I can do because I'm not a buyer of champagne or so. But sometimes I give a dinner. I would like to ask them, can we do uh, like a vertical tasting? Or once we did uh, different size bottle tasting. So, regular
So you
bottle to
are offering,
Magnum.
sorry, you are offering the occasions to them to showcase the products. It's not the opposite.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, or because I like the product. But
Yes,
then, they, when, I mean, it was very sweet of them that, when they, my 60th birthday, they gave, uh, as a as a my to celebrate my 60th, it gave me a, fine champagne, and then also as a token of, friendship. And so, I mean, it's a give and take, and so, and in a very personal level, I would say, so that is very important. It's not always like a one way kind of
Mm-hmm.
things, and they don't do it very much like in a commercial way. I was very surprised that all of a sudden I received so many bottles of Belle Epoque, and then but they said, "Well, we don't want you to celebrate without with other champagne because you are the friend of Pernod Ricard," which was it came. I mean, to my surprise, I mean, I invited them because they are my friend. My 60th, I invited only 60 people for
Ah,
occasion, and they are special friends. So I did too, and I wasn't expecting. I didn't call them and say, "Oh, give us champagne." No, but that was a very happy occasion. So I think it's not a give and take. It's just that, friendship becomes like the way of dealing with life, actually.
mm-hmm.
And that's why, I mean, they are very special. I mean, not that I don't know anybody from other champagne brand, but that was a special occasion. And they invited me to a special ceremony for the certain anniversaries and so on, which was very, very nice of them as well. So I
Mm.
think one thing led to another, to the friendship. And then I think, especially in Asia and Europe, that is very important, no? The
Absolutely.
personal
Mm.
relationship. Yes.
And then you mentioned that you are in contact with other brands, with other other people from other brands. How do you feel? How can I say? Do you see a difference in the way these brands relate to you, or not? More or less, they are the same.
I mean, it is how I feel
Mm-hmm.
because I always liked the product and meeting the producer of that product makes that product more special. So and then of course they make the effort as well, but more importantly there was like a mutual understanding of appreciation. I mean, they appreciate because I appreciate their product, and then so that's the way I guess it is. um Me finding uh, my favorite champagne, and one day, I mean, of course, if you're a fan of famous movie star, and then if you meet that person, of course, that's exciting, right? So that's in a way how I see the family of Pernod Ricard, especially in Champagne, Belle Epoque. That's how it happened to me. So I guess I'm sure this is a big business, but in Japan, these group of people represent Pernod Ricard. I know a few of them, but I'm not all of. I don't know all of them, but I think they managed to make that into personal experience, which is very special to me. And and then I don't know if they are the only one, but etc. But and then especially I happen to find the product and then liking it and then meeting the people and then they become my friends and so on. So that was the reason that I think it's more so to be special to me.
Okay. Okay. So, if there is any suggestion that you can give to your friends in order to improve the relationship they have with you, and even, sorry, the general appreciation of the product in the market, what would you say? What would you recommend?
Very difficult, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Problem is there not a problem, but I mean it's an unfortunate situation is that their product is limited. I mean that's and so it is not necessarily so available.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, some certain occasion, the product is not available because I don't know. I'm looking. I'm just telling you only about the Belle Epoque,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, they cannot provide everybody what they need. But that is okay because that makes that product more special in a way. I
Okay.
guess you know. Uh, so maybe you are not. I am not the right person that you are interviewing because I have a very personal, not personal. I have a special liking towards one product of Pernod Ricard, and so they say, well, sorry, we don't have a Belle Epoque, but I have some other champagne but to me that would not do. So that's unfortunate for them. But I mean, I think they are doing a good product with Belle Epoque. If they are doing the same to other product, I think it is quite good.
Okay. So actually,
Yeah,
there are no real.
because sorry, go ahead.
So there are not really specific suggestions. And then I also like the fact that you are saying the fact that they are not massively present make it more special. So
That's
this is
right. That's right.
okay.
That's
Vabbè.
right. No, but I think that there is a way because I'm sorry. They have moms, right?
Sì. Sì. Yes.
I'm sorry. You have to teach me.
Ah, no.
But for
Actually, I'm
example, if
sitting
you
at church. I'm not a Pernod Ricard person actually. So I'm an external person to Pernod.
yes, I know. But moms, yes, because they used to use it for the champagne for the Formula One.
Yeah.
But for example, I think if you produce um, a special because mums is more available,
Mm-hmm.
so it's more popular. So if they can make that somewhat more special, or they create some product which is uh, ultimate mum or something like that, that will bring up the image of the mum as a product higher. I guess it can be said for many uh, other liquors that they are producing. make something like a special something, and the people go wow with that. And then if you are in a family of that, the brand becomes more special. I'm not a marketing person at all, but I think that's a history or a story to go with that special bottle may create a better product, a better marketing strategy. Because I think people, there are so many champagnes, right? For example, or so many liquors that they make, but I think many people would appreciate the story.
Okay.
So if for me, it's a friendship, but for many people, it's a special story that they like. Then the same product, a same price range, but you prefer this one instead of that one, for example.
Mm-hmm. So according to you, less is more, if I can
Yes,
summarize it.
yes.
Okay.
Less is more, and then that's a tip. That's as a modernist architect, that's the way we always talk about the modern architecture, right?
Okay. So less you put in the room, better it is for the space, in a way. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, you made me think about the last point. That is uh oh, come on, it flew away. Anyhow, if ever I will it will come back. Is there anything else that you want to add to this interesting conversation?
No, I think no, that's great. I had a great time talking to you, and hopefully we meet in person soon.
I hope so. It means that we can
Yes.
travel again a lot.
Yes.
Sorry, my question came back because
Yes.
actually you said that so you're originally from Japan, but you lived in many and studied in different countries. So I have the impression that your taste as a, let me say, as a luxury consumer is has been influenced all over the years through different cultures. So you are not the
Yes.
typical Japanese
No.
customer.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
And then do you think um, there is something that you really, when you independently on the product, so you mentioned watches, then you mentioned some famous brands, fashion brands. So is there something that you really appreciate over in your luxury consumption, once again independently on the product category? What is the most important thing for you?
It's a quality,
Okay.
and also I said the story.
So anything that goes with the personal aspects, the personal. Okay. So
Right. Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing
Okay.
else to ask.
Okay. Very good. Very
As
good.
promised, it was a conversation. So you see, there were not right or
Yes.
wrong answers. And so I really thank you for your valuable answers, because actually you gave me many interesting words and concepts so that we can definitely work on it. And so
Okay. Very good.
I wish you a lovely day, and then the rest of
Yes,
the
you
day.
too. Have a good day to you. All right. All right.
We
Thank
will come back
you.
to you with the final results as soon as possible.
Okay. Excellent. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Good. Bye, Mr.
Bye.
Tange.